It's Memphis Training Camp 2025. I'm Michael Wallace, joined by the Commercial Appeals Damichael Cole here at Belmont University. The Grizzlies tipped off their training camp right here today on this beautiful campus here in Nashville, and we heard a lot. There was a lot of activity, a lot of action, even some scrimmaging going up and down. Damichael, what were some of the key things that you heard coming out of that practice that these guys just went through?
Yeah, I'll give you two words, speed kills.
Yes.
And that was a big takeaway for me. And, you know, when Ja Morant comes in there, he's talking to us, and he was like, well, I'm going to need an inhaler. And many people know, you know, how conditioned of an athlete Ja Morant is. This isn't something saying, oh, Ja isn't conditioned. Ja is a very conditioned athlete. So the fact that he's saying he's going to need an inhaler is telling you everything, you know, about what this mentality is with speed, with this new coaching staff, especially with Wallace Isolo. And the other thing about that is the fact that, you know, with Isolo, they played with pace last season, but he's talking about the speed isn't just about the pace, it's in everything that they do.
No, there's no question about it. It's everything that they do. They think faster, they move faster, they react faster, they respond on both ends of the court a lot faster than they did before. One of the things Ja also said was that, you know, this was an important, probably the most important day one of training camp of his career. That's a big time testament coming from Ja Morant, because he said this was one where everyone was locked in. The attention to detail was there from the very first whistle, and that carried through their 2-hour workout. So when you talk about that, you build on day one by going into day two. And one of the things that Santi Aldama told us afterwards is that this team is connected, right? They're united and they're connected. And to have that already coming into training camp, that's a special thing.
Yeah, they got a good blend is what I call it. You know, you got your vets, as in your established players who've been here over 5 seasons, who can speak to the culture in Memphis, speak to the Grizzlies culture. But then you have your other vets who come from other organizations. You know, you have a Ty Jerome who spent a lot of time in the league. You have a Jock Landale who spent a lot of time in the league. And of course, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is now entering his 13th season in the NBA. So you got all of those, you know, meshed into one. And then you got a nice blend of young talent too, and real talent, not just young players that you drafted and they're gonna sit on the bench. You got some young guys that you really want to play. So you mesh all that to well. I think it's a good mix, because you got the guys like the Jaws who will listen to the KCPs of the world and things like that. But then you got the younger guys who can get fed this information from all these different players. I think they got a good mix here of things going on.
No, you talked about that. I mean, KCP was on 2 championship teams, right?
Yeah.
Los Angeles and Denver. You talk about Ty Jerome was on a 60-win Cleveland team last year. So they're coming in from winning cultures. That's going to help Isolo establish what he wants to do here in Memphis. And last but not least, I mean, these guys are going to be without, you know, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, their front line, 3 of their top front line players, assuming Ja Morant is going to hold on to his starting spot, right?
Yeah, we can
assume that. That's a safe assumption. Ja's going to keep his starting spot. But Isolo told us, man, the competition is wide open for every other position until Jaren and Zach Edey come back. So you talk about 5 preseason games and then going into the regular season, there's going to be jobs to be fought for right here at Belmont's campus when you talk about the rest of this week at training camp. For Damichael Cole, I'm Michael Wallace. Keep it locked on all of our daily Grizzlies training camp coverage presented by Ortho South.